find, we'll grab these. Make sure I have those. So yeah, sorry, I'm a little... The printer wasn't working this morning. Good morning, FirstU. We're going, thank you. We're going to begin with some singing, and you're going to have so much more singing this service. We are so excited for today. We're going to be doing the same song we've been doing the last couple of weeks for our sing-along prelude, People Gonna Rise Like the Water. The lyrics will be behind me on the screen, and since you know this well, please feel free to add some harmonies, have some fun with it today. So here we go. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my children saying, gotta shut this system down. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my children saying, gotta shut this system down. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now.
Good morning. I'm Amy from the Board of Directors, and I have several announcements. Oh, and this is moving. That's not good. So the first one's about our focus groups. We're doing focus groups to aid in our ministerial search process. So we did this 4 years ago and decided that because we had done it before, we're only going to have a few focus groups to garner opinions from all of you. Because much of our information is still relevant. So we are still having a couple of focus groups in the next week or so. So there's two focus groups. There's for anybody who would like to be involved. One is on Saturday, March 15th, and it's here. No, is it on Zoom now? Where is Jane? It's in person, sorry. Yeah, but I was under the impression they might all be on Zoom now. It is in person. I apologize. Okay, so it is in person here at FirstU at 10 a.m. So I'm going to say that again because this was really confusing. Next Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:15, we're having a focus group here at the congregation. So if you'd like to do that. And it's for anyone who would like to give us information about what they would like to see in a new minister. And the second one will be on Monday, March 17th, so a week from tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Zoom. So 7 to 8:15 p.m. on Zoom. And you have to pre-register. So to do that, you will email focusgroups@firstunitarianottawa.ca. Oh, it's focus group. I apologize. Thank you. So focus group. Yeah, she's going to. And there are registration lists right here. Oh, perfect. Okay. So there are also registration lists at the back. And Jane who has been giving me this information, is at the back in that pink sweater. So if you have questions, I'm sure she'd love to answer them for you, okay? So yes, we are not having the focus group for RE parents tonight, so that's canceled. And the one on Thursday, the one for Longline congregants on Thursday is now fully booked, and so is the one on the 11th. So you have 2 opportunities. Please see Jane if you have more information, or you can email for focus groups at First Unitarian. The second one is about the time and talent auction. Yay! So we're having a time and talent auction this year, and we're currently looking for items for the time and talent auction. So popular things in the past. So a time and talent auction is literally what it sounds like. It is that you offer to do something or give something to someone, and they can, yes, they can, and then they vote. You can bid on it here, and it's a fundraiser for the congregation. So just for those of you who don't know. So people have often given dinners at their homes, like a dinner party. They've done cottage visits, game nights. I've made casseroles for people, bike tune-ups, local tours, anything that you think that people would like to do and that they will pay money for, please email us. And so if you have something like that, please email the coordinator, David Chernyshenko, and his email is david@davidc, like the letter C, .ca. The next one is about the political reading group. They're reading a book called The Mess We Are In, or they're discussing it, I guess, on Thursday, March 20th at 6:30 in room 3. And actually, it's from to discuss the first 2 chapters of Breaking Free of Neoliberalism, Canada's Challenge by Alex Himmelfarb. And if you want more information, Mark Burnett is the person to contact, and his email is mark@etienneburnett@gmail.com. And it's probably on the screen, but if you want it, I can give it to you. Brunet. And finally, the Unitarian Go-Go Grannies are having a bake and jewelry sale next week in Fellowship Hall. So that's next Sunday. Cash, checks, and e-transfers will be accepted. And they are doing that to support the Stephen Lewis Foundation, and an effort to support their partners in sub-Saharan Africa, given the devastating consequences of current events. So if you would like to support that, please come next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome everyone to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa, whether you are here in Worship Hall or watching from wherever, whenever you may be, know that you are welcome here. This morning, we have a special guest with us, Waigwa, and we'll give them a more complete introduction in just a few minutes. I'm the Reverend Eric Meter, this congregation's lead minister.
Good morning, and I'm Lee, your worship associate today. We acknowledge that our FirstU campus is located on traditional, unsurrendered, and unceded Algonquin Anishinaabeg territory, and that the work of reconciliation is the responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those who have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice. Let's join our voices in song once more. Please rise in body or spirit as Waigwa teaches us a new piece of music from outside of our hymnal, When I Rise Up by Wendy Tuck. The lyrics will be on the screen above.
Hi, y'all. Good morning. So I know I'm going to talk a little bit later about songs of resistance and resilience, but I think it's worthwhile to say that resistance and resilience is based on a foundation of courage. And often courage starts with learning to deeply inspect ourselves and to show up authentically out into the world. And I think that's what this song is about. It's called When I Rise. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to sing a line, and you're going to sing it back to me. Hopefully the words will be up here soon. And so the way that this works is that you are both invited to sing the line after I sing it, or you are welcome to just hum a drone underneath. So I'm going to get the drone ready for the choir. If you are not a choir member, feel free to pick a note that I play for you, and then we'll get started. Repeat after me. When I rise, let me rise, like a bird, joyfully. And when I fall, let me fall, like a leaf, gracefully, without regret. When I stand, let me stand, like a tree, strong and tall. And when I lie, let me lie, like a lake, peacefully, calm and still. And when I work, let me work, like a bee, wholeheartedly. And when I play, let me play, like a breeze, refreshingly, light and clear. When I rise, let me rise, like a bird, joyfully. And when I fall, let me fall, like a leaf, gracefully, without regret. When I stand, let me stand, like a tree, strong and tall. And when I lie, let me lie, like a lake, peacefully, calm and still. And when I work, let me work, like a bee, wholeheartedly. And when I play, let me play,
like a breeze, refreshingly light and clear. When I rise, let me rise like a bird, joyfully. When I rise, let me rise like a bird, joyfully.
As health challenges continue, do take care and take advantage of online opportunities at FirstU to stay in touch. If you're new to FirstU and would like to learn more about us, please contact us through our email at welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. And if you're right here in Worship Hall this morning and would like more information about FirstU, it's available at the welcome table at the back of the pews. We encourage you to sign up to receive the EUU, our weekly email newsletter. Sign-up information is available on our website under the EUU Weekly Newsletter tab. You can also access the EUU on our website or by using the QR code on the back of our printed programs. Check our Facebook and Instagram pages and website for notices and updates. Our calendar continues to be as full as ever, though some of our activities take place online. This morning, each of us is welcome. We of any heritage or faith, whatever our burdens, of any culture or race, of any gender or orientation, in any body, all that we are. Today we are all part of this spiritual community.
Can I have some helpers to help me light the chalice this morning? We'll see. We will light our chalice this morning to these words by my colleague Lisa Day. Why a flaming chalice? The question comes. It's the cup of life, we answer. A cup of blessings overflowing, just like that. A cup of water to quench our spirit's thirst. A cup of wine for celebration and dedication. The flame of truth, the fire of purification, oil for anointing, healing out of chaos, fear, and horror. Thus was the symbol crafted a generation ago. So may it be for us in these days of uncertainty, sorrow, and rage, and a light to warm our souls and guide us home. Thanks to some exemplary help, our chalice is lit. Come, let us worship together as we sing our chalice song.
I am Jody McIntosh, the Director of Religious Exploration, and I invite anyone young or young at heart to come on down to listen to my story this morning. So I have a question for my young folks down here. Do you know what kind of sign this is? Have you seen a sign like this before? Sometimes you see them at protests or marches or rallies. Well, you are answering my second question. So this is a protest sign, and Leonard just told me, what's on my sign, Leonard? The ABCs are on my sign. Now, what in the world do the ABCs have to do with protests? Well, normally when you're at a march or a rally or a protest, people would carry signs with messages on them to tell people what they think or what they believe. Well, this sign is because my story today is called A is for activist. And this book shows how each letter of the alphabet can help us make the world a better place. And it's all about how we can use our voices, our hearts, and even the ABCs to stand up for what is right. So I'm going to pass this to Kasia, and I'm going to pass the book. All right. And it will also be up on the screen if you want to share it or have a look at it there. So A is for Activist by Osanta, I practiced, really I did, Osanta Nagara. So A is for activist, advocate, abolitionist, ally, actively answering a call to action. Are you an activist? B is for banner, bobbing in the sky, billowing in the breeze, because you're not shy. C is for co-op, cooperating cultures, creative counter to corporate vultures. O, and cats. Can you see the cats? And there will be a cat on every page if you want to spot it. D is for demanding a voice that won't cease. We dare to disrupt, we dare to defy, demanding a future where all can fly. E, equal rights, black, brown, or white. Clean and healthy is a right. Every place we live and play, environmental justice is the way. F is for feminist. Feminist for fairness in our pay, for freedom to flourish and choose our own way. G is for grassroots, sprouting from below, sharing nutrients and the water's flow. Below the surfaces, we're all connected. Stronger together, we grow. H is for healthy food. A human right, honeydew, himika, nature's delight, hummus, hot dogs, Havarti cheese. Hot dogs? Yes, healthy hot dogs, please. Oh, and pizza. Indigenous and immigrant, together we stand tall. Our histories are relevant. An injury to one is an injury to all. J is for justice. Yay for justice. Jia Jing Jing. Winita Jamal. Justice for the janitors. Justice for all. Kings are fine for story time. Knights are fun to play. But when we make decisions, we will choose the people's way. LGBTQ+, love who you choose, because love is true. Liberate your notions of limited emotions. Celebrate with pride our links of devotion. M, megaphones, marching, movimiento music, hip hop, hooray, it must be May Day. N is for no. No, no, no. Yes to what we want. No to what must go. No, no, no. Open minds operate best. Critical thinking over tests. Wisdom can't be memorized. Educate, agitate, and organize. P, peace march. Protest. Pow, pow, power to the people, yeah. Q is for question, questioning, coercion, querying, qualities, counter, false assertions. Assertions. My apologies. Radical Reds, the headline said, ruinous rioters, the rumors spread, rabble-rousing riff-raff. Really? S is for sun, soul, solar, superstar, stellar power, fuels all life, not just flowers, energized homes, cars, and showers. Silly, selfish scoundrels sucking on dinosaurs' sludge. Boo-hoo. T is for trans, for trains, tiaras, tulips, tractors, and tigers too. Trust in the true. The he, she, they, that is you. U is for weekends. U is for workers' rights. Wait, that's not U, that's W. U is for union. Yes, union, yes. V is for Vox. What did you say? Fox? No, I said Vox. Did you say box? No, Vox. Rocks, blocks, socks? No, Vox. Vox of the people, voice of the populi. Better go see the letter D. Wondrous world, wondrous we. We cannot be whole, we cannot be free unless we delight in diversity. Z is for zeal, the fire in our hearts, for justice and change where a new day starts. With zest and with vigor, we stand and we fight for a future that's brighter, where wrongs turn to right. Did I miss X and Y? Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm going to go back to X and Y. X is for Malcolm, as in Malcolm X. History's lessons can be complex. Remember Parks, remember King, remember Malcolm, and let freedom ring. Y is for you and youth and your planet, your rights, your future, your truth. Y is for yes, yes, yes. And I will read Z again because it's a nice way to close. Z is for zeal, the fire in our hearts, for justice and change where a new day starts. With zest and with vigor, we stand and we fight for a future that's brighter, where wrongs turn to right. Thank you. We will now sing our children on our way. All the children are going to be in room 4 today for an all-group activity. And if you follow Susan and Rita down, thank you.
Beneath our arms we shelter you. You warm our hearts as you pass through. May our love guide you as you go, to help you learn and help you grow.
I always like seeing people make an arch instead of a salute. Each week, we pause in our time together in recognition of the joys and sorrows in our lives and across the globe. We honor our celebrations and challenges by placing a stone or stones in a small bowls of water. As the ripples extend outward, we imagine them continuing out beyond the small bowls, out through and past our pews, out into the larger community of all. We begin with a get well stone for Christine and Joe, who are recovering from the flu and pneumonia in their home. and a stone for Barry as we wish him well as he recovers from recent surgery. And against this background, we live our lives. Please come forward now to honor your joys and sorrows by placing stones in these bowls of water before us. Please come forward. That last stone, as always, represents all that remains in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. Carrying cards for Christine and Joe and Barry are at the back of the hall for us to sign at the caring table. Even if you don't yet know them, this is a way to extend our care on behalf of those who have given so much to keep this community as vital as it is. Let us move now into a time of stillness and reflection. After several moments, we'll come back together through the gift of music.
Today's reading is America, I Sing You Back by Allison A. Hedgecock. She wrote this poem trying to represent her perspective as an Indigenous woman on the path that America was taking. And at the time, it was very much inspired by environmental issues, but I think it has a really strong resonance today as well. America, I sing back what sung you in. Sing back the moment you cherished breath. Sing you home into yourself and back to reason. Before America began to sing, I sung her to sleep, held her cradleboard, wept her into day. My song gave her creation, prepared her delivery, held her severed cord beautifully beaded. My song helped her stand, held her hand for first steps, nourished her very being, fed her, placed her 3 sisters strong. My song comforted her as she battled my reason, broke my long-held footing sure, as any child might do. As she pushed herself away, forced me to remove myself, as I cried this country, my song grew roses in each tear's fall. My blood-veined rivers painted pipestone quarries, circled canyons, while she made herself maiden fine. But here I am, here I remain high on each and every peak, carefully rumbling her great underbelly, prepared to pour forth singing. And sing again I will, as I have always done, never silenced unless in the company of strangers, singing the stoic face, polite response, polite while dancing deep inside. Polite mother of her world, sister of myself. When my song sings aloud again, when I call her back to cradle, call her to peer into waters, to behold herself in dark and in light. Day and night, call her to sing along, call her to mature, to envision. Then she will quake herself over, my song will make it so. When she grows far past her self-considered purpose, I will sing her back, sing her back. I will sing, oh I will, I do. America, I sing back what sung you in. It is my very great pleasure today to introduce our guest speaker, Kimberly Waigwa. Waigwa is a conductor and an educator dedicated to the goal of intentional music making. Their focus is on the intersections of racial justice, queer advocacy, and community building. They are also the artistic director of the One Voice Mixed Chorus in St. Paul, Minnesota, a queer chorus with the mission of building community and creating social change by raising our voices in song. They also sing with Elevation, the flagship professional performing ensemble of Elevate Vocal Arts. Additionally, they served as music director of Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation, where I'm told Blue Boat Home was a much-loved hymn. A Texas native and recent Twin Cities transplant, they are a lover of Star Trek, ice cream, oil pastels, long walks, and podcasts. They asked me to shorten their bio, and I thought that part was important to include. Our choirs have been so thrilled and honored to be able to work with Waigwa yesterday, and we're so appreciative of them being here with us today. They really helped bring the music that we're going to perform for you today alive, both with their musical guidance, but I think more importantly with really imbuing an understanding of the intention and the meaning and the power and the greater context of the music. I should mention as well, in your bulletin, there are 2 separate reflections followed by each anthem. We've decided to put the reflections together, so the choir only has to come up on stage once for you, so it will be just 2 anthems at the end of the reflection. So we're so excited to have you with us today. Thank you. Yep.
Hello again. Thank you so much for having me here today. It is a great honor to be with you and speak to you about what I consider the credo of my life, social justice in song. I was particularly struck by today's reading, particularly America, I sing back what you sung in. It calls to mind, I'm a bit of a philosophy and psychoanalysis nerd, and to me it calls to mind the theory of the symbolic order by Jacques Lacan. He writes that we operate in the symbolic, in the meaning and values that we ascribe to the world, the values given to us by our parents, by our communities, by our social structures, our governments, the values and aspirations that so often live in the shadow of hypocrisy and ignorance and are carried by idealism. We remain tethered to the world as we hope it to be, operating as though our ideal world is on the horizon rather than confronting the world as it is. We can see this really clearly in a lot of the vitriolic rhetoric and propaganda happening all across the world as there's this right-wing shift. We can certainly see it from a lot of rhetoric that is being spewed from some United States down a little bit south of here. I often carry the words of Gwendolyn Brooks with me. She wrote a poem called Truth, and I'd like to read 2 separate sections for you. It begins, "And if sun comes, how shall we greet him? Shall we not dread him? Shall we not fear him after so lengthy a session with shade?" And it concludes with, "Sweet is it to sleep in the coolness of snug unawareness. The dark hangs heavily over the eyes." And I always think about, just as a society, how we like to cling to what is comfortable. But despite living in a world that seldom is what it seems and is often not what we wish it could be, we are always compelled to truth through art. I consider art to be the conscious use of skill and creative imagination intended to evoke a meaningful experience through the expression of emotion, ideas, and beauty. We are inherently truth seekers at our core, seeking truth about ourselves and others, our emotions, our systems, our structures, and definitely each other, those who we know and those who we don't. We are truth seekers who desire to use our voices and to listen to the voices of others. Today, you're going to hear 2 examples of how song has compelled both the US and civic rights movements across the world, or across the world more broadly, to be compelled to resilience and resistance. The first song I'm going to talk about today, and the first song you're going to hear today, is Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone. So Sly and the Family Stone is a group that was based out of San Francisco, created in San Francisco, and it remains one of the most influential and groundbreaking bands of the 1960s, oh, this does move, and 1970s. So despite evoking the desire to dance or to turn on, tune in, and drop out, the band was a pioneer on 2 separate fronts. The first was in its makeup. It was one of the first integrated bands in both race and gender to gain popularity in the US. Secondly, the band combined funk, soul, pop, and rock in this groovy, fun, psychedelic mix. And previously, in musical history, we've seen lots of aggression towards modernization, where it is from the early days of music and the Catholic Church not wanting the congregation to be able to either understand the liturgy or understand the songs, to gospel traditions coming in with jazz and R&B influences. And so having this mix of funk, pop, soul, and rock was groundbreaking in its day. However, what's more interesting is the context of the release of this song. Again, as a reminder, this was an integrated band in both race and gender, and this song was released in 1968. So to understand why this might be significant, slavery ended in the mid-1860s. So that meant that white folks could not own black folks, but that did not mean that the society was equal. I feel like we know this. 1968 is 14 years after the desegregation of schools. But it was only 4 years after the Civil Rights Act. And this act desegregated places like restaurants and school facilities and outlawed discrimination on the basis of race, religion, and gender. This is a 4-year span. Additionally, it was released 3 years after the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which prohibited racial discrimination in voting. So that means getting rid of measures like literacy tests, poll taxes, and grandfather clauses. So this multiracial, multigender lineup was a radical statement at a time when the US was deeply divided, and continues to be, by racism, sexism, and the upcoming Vietnam War. The message of this song is simple but powerful. It talks about the beauty of diversity, the foolishness of prejudice, and the idea that we're all human underneath all of our social and political dogma and socialization. The famous line, "I am no better, and neither are you. We're all the same, whatever we do," became an anthem for the peace and a whole bunch of equality movements at the time. The song also introduced the world to the phrase, "different strokes for different folks," which became a part of certainly American slang, helping the song transcend to become much more than just a feel-good phrase. It was a radical statement of unity at a time when the country was deeply divided. The band itself also did more to help for a better world, because not only did they sing about a united world, but they modeled the kind of society that they envisioned, a community where difference were not tolerated, but celebrated. Their influence went on to inspire different artists like Prince, Parliament Funkadelic, Stevie Wonder, and even more radical groups like Public Enemy. Another piece we're going to sing for you today comes from much farther back. It's "We Shall Overcome." You may know it. It's a powerful protest song with deep roots in both American folk and gospel traditions. And it has become one of the most iconic songs that is sung both for the US civil rights movement and other movements throughout the world. For some context, the original concept of this song dates back to the 1800s. It's a combination, an amalgamation of both spiritual and gospel hymns, and originally it evolved in the 1900s to a song called "I'll Overcome Someday," that was put together and written by Charles Albert Tindley. He was a black minister, black Methodist minister. And so before I talk a little bit more about "I'll Overcome Someday," I think it's crucial to understand a little bit about black liberation theology, which is the thoughts that kind of built a tradition from which this song emerged. An advocate and champion of black liberation theology is James H. Cone. And in his book about black liberation theology, he says, "It is the essence of the Christian gospel to proclaim God's solidarity with the oppressed." This means that black liberation theology interprets faith through the lived experiences of oppressed people, affirming an assertion that God is on the side of the marginalized in their struggle for freedom, that the liberation of the poor, the oppressed, the disenfranchised is the message of the gospel and challenges systems of oppression, whether that's racism, sexism, transphobia, ableism, classism, and other forms of domination. It proclaims that God's justice demands the transformation of society. So from the birth of slavery, later versions of this hymn were carried from the early 1900s to about the 1940s, when black tobacco workers were holding labor union strikes, especially throughout the South, specifically in Charleston, South Carolina. And it was then that the words were adapted from "I'll overcome someday" to "We will overcome." The version we know today gained traction in the folk scene. A lot of the time, this song is attributed to Pete Seeger, at least in its modern iteration, but really the Tennessee Highlander folk school, with Pete Seeger, Guy Carawan, Frank Hamilton. They helped to popularize this song for a multitude of civil rights organizers. This came in the late 1950s. And it was Pete Seeger who made some minor changes. He changed "I" to "we" and "we" to "shall." And then the momentum of the American Civil Rights Movement started to really build. By the 1960s, "We Shall Overcome" became a cornerstone of the Civil Rights Movement. It was sung in marches and sit-ins and protests. And its legacy continues today. It is a song that transcends time and place and culture, as it remains a melody and a message that has carried movements for justice across generations and across the globe, from apartheid South Africa to continued labor struggles and the fight for equality for the queer and trans community, for BIPOC communities, for the immigrant communities. And what makes "We Shall Overcome" so powerful is, much like its simplicity, much like everyday people, its repetitive phrasing invites anyone to join in. No matter who you are or where you come from, the message is clear. We shall overcome. Not I, not you, but we. Now, this is not hard to imagine, but imagine yourself in a crowd. Your arms are linked with your fellow human, putting one foot in front of the other in a determined march. As far as the eye can see, people are marching for freedom. They may be your family, your friends, your fellow congregants, but also strangers. Strangers who may never know you, but believe so deeply in our right to equality and equity and human dignity, who believe in our inherent rights as human beings to not simply survive, but be given the opportunity to thrive in community and in joy and in freedom. We can feel the strength through these songs of those who've come before us, whose voices still echo in these notes, those who we know, and those whose names and stories we'll never know. And so, as we sing today, I invite you to reflect on what these songs mean, what the words of these songs mean. Everyday people, and we shall overcome. The path to justice is long, as we know, and none of us know exactly what lies ahead. But in this moment, in these songs, we affirm that hope is not naive, it is necessary. After all, we are everyday people, and we will overcome. One, two, three, four.
Sometimes I'm right and I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my songs. The butcher, the baker, the drummer, and then makes no difference what group I'm in. anyone, different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. It's Scooby Dooby Dooby, ooh, cha-cha. We've got to live together. I am no better, and neither are you. We're all the same, whatever we do. You love me, you hate me. You know
Wow. I have the unenviable task of having to follow that generous gift of music with an invitation for you to consider a gift of generosity. I'd like to invite the ushers to start passing the baskets. Our congregation has a long history of care, vitality, and bringing people together to move the arc of justice forward. We've been able to live into our hopes and dreams because of the generosity of those within and beyond our community. So whether you're here in Worship Hall or anywhere else, you are a part of this community. We rely on one another to keep this congregation vital and resilient. If you have any questions about how you can give, please go to our website or contact our finance manager to find out how you can make a donation or keep up with your pledge. Also, those in Worship Hall can use the QR code on the back of the order of service to make an online donation. Now, let us sing together once more. Please rise and body your spirit as Jen leads us in singing There Is More Love Somewhere, number 95 in our gray hymnal. The words will be up on the screen.
Please be seated. My soul and my heart both are larger now than when I walked into this room, and in that I know I cannot be alone. And I will also say, I could get used to hearing that number of voices behind me. Waigwa, you are always welcome here. Before we begin to close this time of worship, song, and reflection, a reminder that our food and household items from our grocery support program are available to anyone who would like some from the room adjacent to Fellowship Hall. A reminder that our after-service discussion in the lounge will resume next week. And we have, once again, Mia's Indian Cuisine offering lunch for sale after the service. Gotta find my prop. If you're new here, still feel new, or simply looking for an exceptional conversation during coffee hour, please pick up a green mug as you enter Fellowship Hall. And if you see someone having any beverage from a green mug, go up, say hi, introduce yourself, ask them what brought them here, and get ready for another exceptional conversation. Now, as we prepare to extinguish our chalice, let these words from Rosemary Watola Trommer be our guide. This is her poem titled The Great Chorus. We all live together in a home in which the rooms are made of song, fierce songs of resistance, wounded songs that rise like sirens and drown out every other song, till once again we hear the tendrilled song of opening, chants of freedom, wild song of belonging, sweet lullaby of trust. What moment cannot be met through song? Even the greatest heartache, even the greatest joy, even the smallest hope knows itself not only by its melody, but by who is willing to sing along and who is courageous enough to listen. Our chalice is extinguished, but the spark of our faith remains. Jen, will you bless us again in leading us in our closing song, Spirit of Life? We'll sing it through first in English and then en français. Please rise in body or spirit. Each week at this time, I talk about the joy and the challenge of helping the world come alive in love. Let's sing it into being, my friends. Let's sing it into being. Go in peace, one and all. Go in peace.